There's this joke that goes something like this, that there was $100 bill that was laying on the floor at an economics conference, and people kept walking over the $100 bill until somebody stopped them and said, "Why do you keep walking over the $100 bill?" And the one economist replied, "Well, it's $100 that's sitting there doesn't exist." I think it's really funny, but not everybody thinks it's funny. The principle is that economists are highly skeptical, and they don't think that there is a free lunch that exists. They don't believe in um, they don't believe in that things, just opportunities just lie there for you to take and to get going. And this is the one thing that I've been contemplating. A couple of days ago, somebody gave me $20, and it was the sweetest thing ever. Very kind gentleman. And he told me, find two people, give them $10 each to go use the reciprocity platform. And so I put it on social media to see what would happen. And I even threw in an extra 10 or $20 myself, so $40 of free money, of free money. And I said, I'll just give you $10 each. Um, has anybody taken me up on it? No. Um, so it's a really fascinating thing, right? It's a super fascinating thing of, and people that were like, you know, some people sort of reached out, but then they didn't want it. I'm like, I can send you the PayPal link. It, this is a really interesting commentary on people. It's a really interesting commentary on innovation. Um, that even when you incentivize people, so PayPal, for example, when it first started, I think they gave $20 or $50, some obscene amount of money, just to get people to go onto the platform, and they just gave it away, just free money to people to join the platform. Um, and you can imagine, I think that maybe they did that for the first 10,000 users or something like that. You imagine that's expensive to do that. That's obscenely expensive. And they had to incentivize people to get onto the platform before it even was a viability, before even anybody would consider this damn thing. They had to pay people to go on it. And it's fascinating because of people's skepticism. Even, things that have been around forever, right? Like Uber, right? Or Tesla. There is like a incentive program that's on there to encourage people to join. Um, you pass a link to somebody and then they'll pay you $20 or something like that. It's fascinating that with free money, I have not done that. By the way, I've got Uber on my phone. I have not used that link. It's free $20. Easy to do. So what does that mean? What is going on? Well, there's a lot more than cooperation. There's a lot more than sort of rational. Um, the thing that you might think about is money, right? Like, of course. So here's the thing: I might give $1,000 away, and the $1,000, people would be skeptical about that. They'd be like, "Nah, he would never give away." It's just hilarious. And so what do? Right? Like, if this is the thing, if this is where you are, um, and by the way, thank you to the person. If you're listening to this, I'll give me the $20. I was extremely generous. This is where we are. We stop and we say, let's keep working at it. Let's meet people where they actually are. And what does that mean? What does that mean when I talk about that? That means don't expect anybody to do anything. And so you have to walk backwards of how do you make it so attractive, so good that people will just join it because of the fact um, that people just want to, that they're at a moment where they're stuck and they'll join it. And that's a hard thing to work towards. You got to spend an awful lot of money to make it extremely simple. And that's where I am. I think we're going to keep working at it and keep pushing it and making it better and better and better. But it's an interesting commentary on humans, on people. I find it fascinating. I just find it fascinating. And I can have a long conversation, a long debate about this. Um, so first of all, platforms, the social media platforms definitely play a role. They do not give you if they're suspect that you're trying to rip people off, they will not give you any traction on that particular post. So that's a potential factor. Another factor is that just people are skeptical, right? Or they might sort of see something. And I try to appeal. If you notice, what I try to do is try to appeal to the emotionality of things, because that tends to build a lot more. People understand that more, right? The storytelling emotionality of things. People understand. They don't understand the rational, cold, hard facts thing. It's not in their mind what that actually means. And that's where it comes down to, is storytelling. It comes down to this idea of cooperation and sort of rational transactions and all that kind of, that is not, I don't believe in that anymore. I believe in storytelling. I believe in making something so darn easy, and working at it, meeting people where they are, and starting from there. But to make something so simple that people don't even understand that they're actually using the thing, and that's what you need to do, it requires an awful lot of work. And it just requires you to keep going and figuring it out day in and day out until it becomes part of somebody's life. I'm driving around in the car right now, the Tesla. And when I first drove it, I said that this is fundamentally different a driving experience. And once you drive around in an electric car, you would be flabbergasted in how it simplifies your life. And yet, there is a large group of people that want to fight it. That will fight tooth and nail, and we know, like, on every single factor you could check off that we know that it's there's a lot of superior things. The only thing it's not superior at, and I would be skeptical with, is if you go to remote places. It's a little skeptical, but for most people, it is preferable in a lot of different ways. Saves you time. In the long run, saves you money. In the short run, it doesn't. A lot of factors like that. It's better experience when you're driving it. It's faster, all of that kind of stuff. So it's really fascinating. And even then, right, like all these moments where you're like, that's a better product. Why aren't people adopting it? That's an interesting question. And I'm going to keep hustling around with it. All right. Take care and have a wonderful day.